That's just me trying to make plays like John L. Smith was. Michigan State against Northwestern. The Wildcats going to trickeration. Brandon Roberson, Sean Herbert. Wildcats up 24-3. Oh, you know they're going to be all over John L. on the banks of the old Red Cedar. C.J. Bechet, you can do it! Finds Herbert. Northwestern up 38-3, but it's 38-17. And this is where it changes, Lou. Devin Thomas, the block punt.
Devin Thomas block punt. It turns the whole momentum around in this football game.
Still a lot of time to go. Under 11.5. It's a 14-point game. And Drew Stanton has Sparty on the doorstep using the feet, Mayday.
Nice job by Drew Stanton reading his blockers, taking it in on a quarterback keeper for the score. Spartans within 7, 38-31.
They were rolling. They were down 35 points. And Stanton, T.J. Williams, Stanton, 27 of 37, 245 yards, and we're tied. And Bechet just goes into panic mode. Will you still be my friend? He threw the interception. Travis Key setting up Michigan State, and Brett Swenson with 18 seconds to go. And with that kick, Michigan State finishes the biggest comeback in 1A history, 41-38 over the Cats.
Rally from 38-3.
All the credit goes to the kids. I'd like to compliment my coaches. They did a great job putting together a plan with battered troops, and that's what it's all about this time of a year. But the kids have to execute it, and they're the ones that deserve all the credit in the world. It's those guys. They played the game.
Talk about your quarterback who got up off the mat and led you to victory.
I tell you what, I can't say enough about that kid. You know, people say different things like, get him out. And I say, baloney, that kid's going to play until he can't play anymore or doesn't want to.
Yeah, you got it.
What a great kid.
Smith and the Spartans have been through a ton. Now in 1A history, this is the biggest comeback ever. Frank Reich, the authored comebacks both in college and in the NFL, brought Maryland back from 31 down in 84. Ohio State was also down 31 to Minnesota in 1989. UCLA, Brady Quinn walking through the fans. He's a rock star. Quinn, play fake, Jeff Samardzija. Quinn went over 10,000 yards passing in his career. 32nd Division 1A player to do so. It's a 7-0 game. Patrick Cowan, who couldn't call signals all week because of a throat injury he suffered against Oregon. Marcus Everett, 54 yards, tied at 7. Then Mayday, Cowan finds William Snead.
Somebody needs to tell the Notre Dame defense, Lou, tackling is not an option. Wrap up, bring him down. Nice job by Snead taking him to the school.
Touchdown Charlie likes to go for it on 4th down, guys. Done it all season long, and in a 17-13 game, under 2.5 to go, Brady Quinn sneaks, stuffed by the Pac-10 defense.
They were jammed for it. Previously on 4th down, they had used the sneak to convert it successfully.
Well, see, Charlie didn't find that 9.5-yard chain you guys used when you were at Notre Dame. But still, Quinn has one more chance. He finds Samardzija. He picks up 21. Under a minute to go. Still down by 4. Quinn firing. David Grimes making the catch. Gain of 14. Next play. Now look, they got the ball on the 20. They had to go 80 yards. Quinn, no pass rush. Samardzija, the shark, taking a bite out of the Bruins. The game-changing nominee saves the season for touchdown Charlie. 20-17 Irish.
That was a heck of a game, and we were very fortunate to win. A lot of things had to go right at the end of the game for us to win that game. But I know as the offensive play caller, they took it to us pretty good. I think that the players showed that they were prepared at the end of the game to handle end-of-the-game situation. The 20-17 score is very indicative of a defensive struggle, which it was, and I think that you have to commend UCLA and how they played because
Lincoln and the 2 losses came to Texas. 2 sides getting together with Vince in the house and Zach Taylor to Maurice Purify. Purity on the touchdown pass, 64 yards. Huskers up 7-3. But Colt McCoy, the young quarterback, going on the road for the first time in an opponent's stadium. Quan Crosby for the touchdown, and Colt McCoy playing with the savvy of a veteran and going for sweet. Lima Sweet, 55 yards. Texas seemingly had things in hand, up 16-7, but one of the 4 I-backs that Bill Callahan's playing, Brandon Jackson, gets loose, Mark.
And what a great job by Brandon Jackson, picking up blockers down the field of play on the shovel pass, but not only this, turning on the jets, having the speed. He knows to get to the sideline and take it into the house for the school.
You know, Nebraska only had 38 yards rushing, but that didn't mean the I-backs didn't contribute. Marlon Lucky, one of the other ones, up top. Nate Swift, touchdown Nebraska, on top. Huskers by 1 as you look at it again, Lou.
This is well executed. Caught Texas completely by surprise.
3rd and 3 now, under 2.5 to go. Taylor completes it to Terrence Nunn for the first down, but he puts it on the ground. Texas recovers. Similar situation for the Horns. Quan Cosby fumbles, but this time the lineman Casey Studdard.
Oh, the left guard Casey Studdard. What hustle, presence of mind to get down the field of play and recover that fumble.
And here is Ryan Bailey, his first kick attempt ever in a Texas uniform, and I bet he's a hero on 6th Street tonight. Taylor still had an opportunity, though, with time winding down, throwing toward the end zone, and Texas is there to bat it to the ground. They think they pulled one out. No, roughing the passer. Brian Orakpo. Good call here, Lou?
Yes, because the official called it. It wasn't head-to-head. I don't think it should have been called, but the official called it.
Now Taylor has another opportunity. He can get this one all the way into the end zone, but that 2 falls to the turf, and Texas pulls one out of the fire by 2 points.
I knew not to turn the ball over and trusted my teammates. The offensive line did a great job all night long. They were blitzing us a lot, and they were when it came down to the end of the game, they were blitzing on every play, so we had to take care of the ball and just move it into field goal range, and luckily we did that, and things turned out well for us.
He's developing into a great quarterback for us, and the quarterback that can come from behind on the road in tough games, which he's done 2 of the last 3 games, is the one that helps you get to the end where you want to be. And
season appeared to be teetering on the brink after Isaiah Stanback was hurt. Carl Bunnell in there for the Huskies. Bunnell up top to Anthony Russo, and folks in Strawberry Canyon stunned. Huskies going up just before halftime, 10-0. Late in the 4th quarter, Marshawn Lynch had 150 yards.
Outstanding feat by Marshawn Lynch. So quick and great vision, and he knows how to take the ball across the goal line and score.
That put Cal up by a touchdown, and they had the thing wrapped up, it would seem. Bunnell heaving it toward the end zone. A lot of Golden Bears there, but so was Marlon Wood. Touchdown, the Fighting Willinghams.
And you're always saying, oh, that play will never work. It did this time.
2nd career catch for Wood, puts the game into overtime, and that's where Lynch is going to deliver a game-changing nominee.
Terrific job of running by Marshawn Lynch, but it was the blocking down the field and his acceleration to get him into the end zone.
The Huskies weren't done. They had moved the ball, but now fires his 5th pick of the day. Desmond Bishop grabbed it. Bishop also had 16 tackles on the afternoon. And Marshawn Lynch and the Bears drive away with the victory in overtime. Larry Coker minus the 13 suspended players against Duke. Hurricanes involved in that ugly incident against Florida International last week. Thaddeus Lewis finds Jomar Wright. Levon Ponder, who we saw throw a touchdown pass earlier this season on a trick play, picks it up and goes the other way. 10-0 Hurricanes. Kyle Wright to the youngster Sam Shields.
Just a nice slant pass, good quickness. That's what you need in Miami. That's what the receivers used to do on a continuous basis.
So Miami had this thing in control, it appeared, but all of a sudden Lewis finds Raphael Chestnut, who was not roasting on an open fire. He was roasting the Hurricane secondary, 20-9, and Raekwon Boyette. And all of a sudden Raekwon Boyette has this to be a 5-point game. 2-point conversion, no good. Under a half minute to go. Lewis. Jamar Wright, he's loose. He's running for the Duke lead. They've lost 15 in a row. Duke trying to break Miami's heart. Didn't manage the clock perfectly, but this is the last chance. Oh, that's why you're Duke football. Oh. Willis Cooper going the other way, and Cooper, he'd cramp up a little and not score, but Miami escapes 20-15.
What's really upsetting is we have great players in this program, great character, great young men, and hear the things that have been said. Sure it drains you, and but again, we've got that's an excuse. We've got to move past that. The president set the tone for that, and as far as the character and the quality of players that we have, and we've got to move past it, and got to play better.
Miami's still in the thick of the fight in this division against Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech had to deal with Clemson. Clemson decked out in the all-purple, and James Davis from Atlanta said everybody handing Calvin Johnson Player of the Year honors in the ACC, and he wanted to make it a contest. He was playing with a gimpy shoulder, 53 yards against one of the best defenses in the country. But that move by James Davis made it.
Nice hips to get around the tackler and get into the end zone. That's what he does best. When he gets around the goal line, he finds a way to get in.
See the pain that Davis was in. He said he was hungry for this game. Told his teammates he wouldn't eat because he was going to eat Saturday. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech couldn't feed Calvin Johnson. He just covered up, Lou.
Oh, they did a tremendous job on him. In the last 2 years, Calvin Johnson's caught a total of 4 passes against Clemson.
They caught none of them in this game. You see how much space is there between and Reggie Ball. You can blame it on a lot of things, but Ball never appeared to try to go to Johnson there. First time Johnson had been shut out, and it's not just James Davis. What about C.J. Spiller?
Oh, I want to tell you, that's illegal. Nobody should be allowed to do that in a game of football, Mayday.
Spiller had 166 total yards, 116 rushing, 50 receiving, scored twice from 50 or longer. And oh, by the way, Davis went for 216 yards on a mere 21 carries. I'm going to tell you, all these one-loss teams, Clemson's got a case, if you want to say the best one-loss team out there.
Forget the case. They are the best one-loss team out there. Double overtime loss on the road at Boston College. They got a great quarterback, phenomenal rushing attack. Are you kidding, Coach?
Well, either they got a great rushing attack or Georgia Tech's defense was overrated, but it was very highly national.
All the stats were great until Clemson got a hold of them and cut them to pieces. Two teams 3-4 this season. 3 of the losses at home. The latest number 2 in the AP poll, Michigan against Iowa. Score tied at 3. This is the second half kickoff. This is Iowa kicking off after making a field goal, and Steve Breston giving the Wolverines good field position with the 63-yard return. Same drive, Mike Hart will cash it in, Mayday.
That zone blocking in Michigan. He's going to take it to the left and cut right back to the middle. Nice job of Mike Hart running over the tackler into the end zone.
Hart came into this game with 606 consecutive touches without losing a fumble. Football!
No. Don't even review it. Mike Hart doesn't fumble. He had to have been down.
Coach, you're right. They reviewed it. He was down, of course. Look, Kurt, if he fumbled, he was down.
That's right. He doesn't fumble.
Mike Hart, Coach.
He doesn't turn loose of the ball until he's down. He knows better. Hart over 100 yards rushing again. Michigan wins it 20-6 over Iowa, who fought hard, going off the disappointing loss to Indiana. Indiana had Ohio State, the #1 team in the land. Troy Smith. Let's put this on the Heisman resume reel, guys.
No, this is tremendous. I mean, to be going to your left and throw it that accurately and that fast and that far.
How about using the big tight ends? The freshman Jake Ballard from Springboro, Ohio.
Not only great blockers, but tremendous hands. They used a lot of wide receivers and tight ends in this football game. Spread the wealth.
And it wasn't just Troy Smith throwing touchdown passes. Reverse! Pass! Ted Ginn Jr. finding Rory Nickel. Troy Smith tied a career high with 4 touchdown passes, all in the first half. 44-3 the final, and the countdown continues for perhaps I even hesitate to say this, the greatest Ohio State-Michigan showdown ever? Maybe?
No.
You don't think?
No.
1-2? Could be 1-2 in the poll?
It could be 1-2. It's going to be a heck of a ball game.
But neither team faces anyone with a winning record prior to their meeting. In October means a lot to Phil Fulmer. Game tied at 6 in the third quarter. Eric Ainge gets stuffed on 4th down, and the big fellow was not pleased at the offensive line. The old O-lineman himself, they didn't get much surge. John Parker Wilson throwing for DJ Hall, who goes all pro throw on the catch.
Unbelievable. The best catch of the season I've seen thus far. Concentration on the play by DJ Hall. Spectacular.
And his 5th straight 100-yard receiving game. That breaks Ozzie Newsome's single-season record. And Tim Castile goes in for the first touchdown of the game. And the Tide up 13-6. Eric Ainge threw 3 interceptions in the first half. In the second half, much sharper. Brett Smith right on the goal line, just short of the end zone, but it would set up Tennessee on 3rd and goal. Arian Foster over the top, and the Volunteers take their first lead. Their defense stands tall late. Tennessee's won 10 of the last 12 against Alabama, 16-13 the final. Hadi Gashimati, Ole Miss and Arkansas opening kickoff. Felix Jones.
I have never seen so many kickoffs run back as I have seen this year.
And just like that, Felix Jones puts the Right Reverend's team up 7-0. Arkansas unbeaten in SEC play. Mitch Mustaine not completing a lot of passes. Might as well give it to Darren McFadden. Football. Oh, running like a Hummer. Tough, fast, aggressive. Arkansas material. 38-3, the Hogs roll over the Rebels. To start the weekend, one of them Louisville against Syracuse. Colby Smith. You know, Syracuse had a 6-0 lead, and Bobby Petrino started counting it with the running game, Mark.
And a nice job by Colby Smith here. He's going to take it down to the 35-yard gain, and Anthony Allen's going to follow his right tackle and tight end, and he goes in for the touchdown.
Louisville takes a 7-6 lead at the half. Fourth quarter, Louisville up 21-13, and here goes Smith again.
Here's Smith again. Had a tremendous day running. Good speed, but good blocking up front. Petrino likes to run the football.
165 yards. Louisville still undefeated, 28-13. Rutgers, another Big East team, unbeaten. Rutgers on the road against Pitt. They haven't seen a passing offense like the Panthers, and it didn't really matter to them. Tyler Palko been completing nearly 71% of his passes, and he finds T.J. Porter and the Panthers within 3. But Ray Rice just gashed the Panther D.
Oh, Greg Schiano likes to run the football, Coach, and Ray Rice can run the football. 63 yards on this scamper. He'll go over 200 yards for the day.
And for the third time this season, and Rice's 12th touchdown of the year. All 3 Big East teams remain unbeaten. Rutgers, Louisville, and West Virginia won on Friday night against UConn. Boise State also undefeated. Here's an undersold running back, Ian Johnson, who came into the day tied for the national lead with touchdowns. He'll leave the day taking care of business by himself. 18 yards out and into Kibbe Dome. Tough place to play against the Vandals of Idaho. Ian Johnson going in again. Ian Johnson's 3rd touchdown of the day. And under 2 minutes to go, he would go in for the 4th score of the day. He's got 18 on the season. Boise State still unbeaten. They beat Idaho. Got a test against Fresno State that the 3 of us will see on November 1st. These are the teams that are still remaining undefeated in 1A. Once beaten, Florida State's been beaten a whole bunch of times. They were down 14-10, and Drew Weatherford to DeJuan Tribble the pick 6.
Well, it just thrown late. It was just 20 seconds to go before the half, and it was thrown late and picked off. Quarterback mistake.
24-10 in the fourth quarter. Weatherford to Chris Davis making a big play deep in BC territory. Seminoles wearing those all-black uniforms and honoring the unconquered Seminole tribe. Touchdown there for Weatherford. Boston College still with a 7-point lead. Weatherford, this is his last chance on this drive, and he can't come up with a 4th down play. And now in a 24-19 game, just a few seconds to go, and Larry Anam will pick off the pass, and it's not an anomaly when Florida State loses at home against ACC foes. Back on college football final. Game 1, AP after Peterson. Adrian Peterson broke his collarbone against Iowa State last week. Oklahoma and Colorado, and the Sooners turning to Alan Patrick. Patrick had a nice 13-yard gain there. Later in the drive, 3rd and goal at the 4. Paul Thompson finds Manuel Johnson for the touchdown. Grab over the top, and Oklahoma had a 7-0 lead, and Patrick acquitted himself quite well. Carried it 35 times, 110 yards. Oklahoma over Colorado, 24-3. Texas A&M had its hands full in Stillwater. You know, you just don't walk into Boone Pickens Stadium. And you also just walk into Martin Stadium and roll your neon green uniforms out there and beat Wazoo. Ducks in Washington State. Alex Brink finding Jed Collins. Come listen to my story about a man named Jed. Scored a touchdown. And then Brink finds Jason Hill. Washington State with a 13-3 lead. Oregon down 20-3. Tyrone Breckenridge celebrating a tad early. Wazoo knocks off number 16 Oregon 34-23. This is the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. This, the BCS standings coming into the weekend. Plays, albeit often against weaker opponents at home. LSU taking on Fresno State, which has just been a mess since losing to USC last year. Bulldogs punting it away to Craig Buster Davis, and Buster is going to bust a move and bust loose. 77 yards. LSU would run away with this game. They played 6 opponents at home and outscored them 274 to. There are more records. Western Michigan against Ball State. The story, Western Michigan linebacker Amir Ismail. They have a long history of great defense. Boys from Kalamazoo. Ismail had 6 sacks on the day. You see 4 of them. That ties Elvis Dumerville's single game record. 6 sacks for Amir Ismail. The Broncos go on to beat Ball State 41-27. And the great performance by Ismail. That's just perfectly. You see him also stepping in there and picking off a pass. What a great day. He had a pick 6.